tricks that I know. I'm getting tired of talking.
Hey everyone, welcome to Geeksvana Live with myself, Sean Hickey, and Andrew Hamilton over here. Today we are obviously coming to you from a very different studio. Now there was a slight groan in there in the beginning. Apologies for the intro just failing and going into the outro, but it wouldn't be Geeksvana Live without one or two issues with it. So, but it's been a hive of activity so far this morning, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. It's nice to sit down and stop actually.
Yes, exactly. And hey, you know, it's not as if I'm doing a live practical flight test later or anything. Why do I agree to do these things? But there we go. It'll be a good idea in the end. Thank you very much, everybody that's already with us in the chat. And thank you as well for the channel members who joined me for the impromptu members behind the scenes look earlier on with crackly audio and everything. Just again, another Geeksvana glitch, which is always fun. Just a shout out to a few people who joined us. The Flyby guys, Stephen, good to see you. You'll see Stephen at 9 o'clock this evening as well. El Smeghead Andy, our senior moderator, good to see you, sir. Jim Beauchart. Drone Masterclass is in the chat. It's good to see them. Obviously, our wonderful sponsors. Len Hartley, the K-Spot, Keith, Chuck, Action Geography, good to see you as well, sir. I think I saw Treetop Flyer in there as well. So thank you guys for coming in. I really do appreciate it. We're going to be having a fun day of live streams. It's going to be an awful lot of fun. We've got shows coming at you, obviously, right now, which is a bit of a welcome intro show. We've got a live guest coming up with Simon Ritterband from Moonrock Insurance. We're going to be having a chat with this man, Andrew, as well, about a bit of his past.
Okay, interesting.
With drones. Which should be a bit of fun. And also at 2 o'clock, obviously, we have the live flight assessment where I will be in a field flying my drone and Andrew will be assessing me for my CAA GVC, which is going to be very exciting. It's been really interesting because when I first purchased my Inspire 1, it wasn't really intended for this type of thing to take on the GVC or anything else like that, but it's grown into something else. I have to say, I really enjoy flying the Inspire. Yeah. It's an amazing drone, isn't it? It's
probably one of the best ones there, really.
I mean, obviously I was buying what is now old tech, and I wasn't necessarily expecting it to be so good, but it's so stable, and it does, you know, you can tell as well that the controllers on the smaller Mavics, etc., they're great, but they've definitely downgraded them. Yeah. The feel and the control you have, especially in ATI mode.
Yeah, ATI mode is brilliant. It really does teach you how to fly.
Yeah,
and it does
it's incredible.
The controls.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. We're going to have lots of prizes today as well, which is fantastic, including 4 of the CAA courses that Drone Masterclass offer. So we get 2 A2 CofCs and 2 GVCs. So 2 viewers are actually going to win a GVC course, which blows my mind, frankly. Also things like we're going to have some Freewell filters to give away, some lens pens packs, and also some Geeksvana and Drone Masterclass merch, which is going to be very exciting as well. One lucky viewer is going to get the very first Geeksvana hoodie to be in the wild as well. The t-shirts that we're giving away for Geeksvana actually has the International Drone Day logo below, so be very exciting, and they won't be printed and sold. They're only going to be given to the winners, actually. So yeah, which
I'm
is
sitting in the wrong chair. I can't apply for these competitions.
No, exactly.
Wrong place.
Exactly, which is an awful lot of fun. And then coming up at 6 p.m, we're going to be having a live stream, which is also a barbecue. So it'll be a little bit more of hopefully a chilled affair once my flight test is out of the way. Is it possible to get flashbacks before something happens?
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
I really feel like that's starting to happen. So we're having the barbecue, which will be your chance to have a Q&A. We have some questions already from our channel members, and the live audience will be invited to tag at Geeksvana during that show at 6 o'clock as well. We're going to be joined on that show by Ian in London. And also, actually, just to let you know, on the show before that, there'll also be a live version of our weekly drone news with Emily, which is fun. Emily is also, as long as we get everything worked out, is going to be joining us to commentate on the live flight test. I can hardly say the words out loud. My mouth is drying up.
I can smell your nerves.
What's
I can
wrong
smell
with
your
me?
nerves. Sure.
Yeah. Although to be fair, I actually, obviously this is a sponsored show by the wonderful, in collaboration with Drone Masterclass, but I do actually genuinely feel really prepared for it, if that makes sense.
Good.
So filling out the forms, etc., from the point of view of looking at the flight assessment as an actual flight, and finding out the weather and everything else like that. It kind of came second nature. I was very worried about doing all of that and being ready, especially with it going on a live show. But actually, I feel quite calm.
Yeah, I think preparation for it puts you in the zone already.
Yes.
When you start looking at the weather and you do your risk assessment, and I saw you looking at NOTAMs this morning, and
yes,
looking
that's
at
right.
airspace, and talking about this Belfast block and all these things.
Yeah, and understanding it as well.
And that puts you in the frame.
Yeah, indeed, because I have a lot of viewers as well who contact us talking about, Drone Assist is a great app, but how do I understand everything? And actually, the GVC has helped me to do that. To be fair, the A2 CofC did that for me as well. So it's they're both very, very good courses. And then later on tonight at 9 o'clock, we're going to be having a special edition of the usual Geeksvana live show, where we're going to be reacting to viewer videos, which I'm really looking forward to that one. Which we did a week ago, or just perhaps 2 weeks ago now, and that was really popular. What am I doing with my? See, I'm not used to not having buttons to press, because we have a crew running this today, so it feels a bit strange. I don't know what to do with my hands. So I just stand. What do you reckon?
Yeah, yes, that's fine.
That's perfectly natural, isn't it? I think.
No one will notice the difference.
Yeah, no, indeed. So excuse me if I start doing weird things with my hands. I know that in my early videos, I used to talk a lot with my hands. And we had one commenter who said that, and I used to have for some reason, I had the camera cut there. So all you could see was literally my head and shoulders. And so I'd be talking like this to the camera, thinking I was doing a great job of expressing myself with my hands. And one commenter said, if you re-watch this video but mute it, it looks like he's been held up at gunpoint. Which is cool, isn't it? It's like, I absolutely love the kind of...
start looking at sign language. You could help,
Oh yeah, perhaps. Although that would make my hands useful, which would be a step up, frankly. And we're also going to be joined on the 9 o'clock show by Felix at Quadcopter Guide. We're chatting to him about DJI and the future of DJI. He's also going to be reacting to some of the viewer videos. And then we have Ken Heron popping on as well, which I'm really looking forward to seeing him, and he's going to be giving away a prize as well, so it's exciting. But so really looking forward to it, frankly. As I say, in this show we're going to be speaking to Simon Ritterband, obviously about International Drone Day, and have a little bit more of a chat with him. Simon is one of our other, is from Moonrock Insurance, who's one of our other channel sponsors. There's a link in the description to both Drone Masterclass and Moonrock Insurance if you want to find out more details about that. If you've got any questions, please do tag at Geeksvana in the chat, and I'll try and answer them. And I'm going to try and be as responsive to the chat as possible, but again, things are obviously slightly different in the setup today, so excuse me if I do miss anything from there. So, shall we start off by giving some merch away?
Yes.
Because we do actually have quite a lot of prizes to give away today, so we've kind of got to fit them in all the shows,
Let's
which is
stagger it.
which is good fun. Okay, so first of all, we're going to give away a Drone Masterclass T-shirt and a Geeksvana T-shirt. So it'll be the limited edition one with the International Drone Day on there. Now, this will be one for the live chat, and what I'd like you to do is let us know. I also have the answer written down.
Okay.
So when you try and read it out and not give the answer at the same time is quite interesting. Now there is the CAA CAP documents. Remind me what the CAP stands for?
Civil Aviation Publication.
Okay, and those documents are basically everything to do with general aviation, unmanned aviation, etc. And they are the policy documents, aren't they? That essentially set out
and guidance as well.
Yeah,
Like
so it's between the sort of, rather than just the air navigation order saying, obviously the law, the CAPs really give the guidance and the policy as far as interpretation is concerned. So the first person in the chat that can let me know which CAP number, so it's CAP and then 3 numbers, is actually the the new EU rules are explained under, is that a good way of putting it? Then you'll win a T-shirt from both of them. Oh, and we already have straight away. That was pretty quickly, actually. Well done, James Lakeman, Cap 722, I think. So yes, James, you're absolutely correct. So well done, sir. Congratulations for winning that, sir. So it's our first prize winner, James Lakeman. So James, if you can email me, Sean@geeksvana.com with your details, and we'll get that prize across to you. Congratulations. Well done, sir. I knew it would be quick. We have done a lot of videos on 722 and 722C and of course Cap 722 is probably one of the most, in the drone community, is probably one of the most talked about documents. Because I think it's, if there's something specific you want to know, it's actually quite easy just to go on and put find in, drone class, and it will tell you everything you need to know.
The online PDF version is great because it's so much more searchable.
Yeah, which is excellent. It's very, very exciting. Okay, and we actually have another one here. We're going to give another prize, which might take a little bit of time for people to go and research and get exactly correct. Now, this is I need this to be the official. I'm going to start. I'll give you a hint already, but on the DJI.com website, so the actual official one here. And this again is for another Geeksvana presenter shirt with the International Drone Day logo on there. So this is the official maximum speed of the DJI FPV drone as per their website. I'll take that either in kilometers an hour or miles per hour, and the first person in the chat to do that will win a T-shirt as well. So that's exciting, isn't it? So next up, we are going to bring in our first guest. I think will be the next thing to do, we'll have Simon Ritterband from Moonrock Insurance joining us. Hello, Simon. Sorry.
Hi, Sean.
Now, again, that's thrown me a little bit as well because actually, I'm used to my bank of screens in my normal live studio, yes, the producer actually did come in and say, okay, so when the show's running, look at this camera, do this, do that, and then you'll be able to, and then turn around to the monitor, which they very skillfully placed in here so that we can have our guests appear on the monitor between us and welcome the guest in. So what do? I stare at my laptop. But there you go.
So I get to see your neck the whole time.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Or no. Actually, once I go this way, I think they do have a split screen as well. So how are you, sir? It's great to see you.
Yeah, very well. I'm pleased to be here. Thank you for having me. Nice thing to do on a Saturday lunchtime.
Yeah, exactly.
Clear the house, get rid of the family.
Exactly. So yeah, it's an interesting sort of thing to do with it being International Drone Day. I think it's time that we start sort of celebrating it a little bit more, and because there's so much happening in the industry worldwide, let alone all of the stuff, the crazy stuff that's happening in the UK at the moment, as far as drones in every possible sector, from hobbyist all the way through to the larger beyond visual line of sight testing, etc. That's happening at the moment. But it's an exciting time for drones, really, isn't it?
Yeah, we're inundated with so many different applications for drones, especially with last year and what happened with COVID in the country. So many new opportunities have sprung up where it used to be a situation you'd need numerous people working on a site in production or spraying. But obviously what we've done with drones now take half the time. Well, by their very nature, they're social distancing. So you're seeing a real uptick in number of people training and therefore requiring clearance. So from a business point of view,
yeah, indeed, and it's an interesting time because of course we've just had all of the new regulations come in as well, and that's changed things an awful lot of course for the hobbyists, and it's kind of that whole hobbyist professional thing has also for me changed context a little bit recently as well, because of course we don't have the same setup, do we, Andrew? We don't really have the same. It used to be you're a hobbyist or you're a PFCO, and you have to have the PFCO to be able to fly commercially, etc. But now, of course, we don't have that. Your side of things, insurance, actually, of course, is something which is almost becoming more the sort of benchmark between what the flight actually is, because of course, if you are carrying out commercial operations, you do need the correct insurance in place. How have you found things at Moonrock with the transition across?
Yeah, so when the new regs were being discussed, there was sort of a bit of panic in the drone insurance industry. So, how are we going to look at this? How are we going to cost it? Look at the experience. And then you take a view that actually it works very well, because up until now you could have done your course, taken a pick or a partial PIFO, and you could be flying in the water for 1 minute, and then you could be on a North Sea oil rig under the same qualification, and there was no difference of training opinions with that. So it was quite a useful way of being markers about what each individual pilot can do and what areas they can work within. And the insurance industry actually now welcome these new regulations. It took a bit of time in terms of the price and the cost of things, but it's big for us. And also, from the point of view, we think it's a nice way to start off with your hobbyist, and then you can actually start to do the CofC course, you enjoy it more, and you start to get business, then look at the GPC courses. So yeah, we're really, really pleased with what's happening.
Excellent. Okay. Well, in actual fact, we're having. It sounds like we're having some audio issues from your end at the moment. So we're going to have to leave it there, unfortunately. Sorry about that. To have you on for such a short amount of time, but I did want to say a very big thank you for your support of Geeksvana this year. I'm really looking forward to the new hobbyist product that is in the future with Moonrock as well.
Very shortly.
And I think there is the recent videos that we did together in collaboration with Moonrock. There was a lot of people saying, "Hey, what about hobbyist insurance?" So there is a product around the corner for that. So I'm really looking forward to that. So yes, so apologies, we can't continue with the glitchy audio on there. So but thank you so much for joining us. So we'll see you very soon.
For the rest of the day.
Thank you, sir. I really appreciate it. There we go.
Interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think he's right what you're saying about the, before you get your PFCO, you took the course and there's a lot of investment, and then you need the insurance to, prove to the CAA you're insured. But now you can start looking at the open category and do that hobbyist thing without the need for insurance initially.
Indeed. And it's the insurance has almost become the benchmark, hasn't it? Really, as far as when you then do step across into it. And again, as per the Drone Insurance 101 video, which should be a link in the description, if not search on the channel, that does explain to you the different levels of insurance that you need, which is starting off from nothing, frankly. Although, of course, things like the BMFA, etc., come with public liability insurance, which I don't think hurts. When I joined there and I found I had 25 million of public liability insurance. That's a nice little backup, isn't it? As a hobbyist, especially then when I was a completely green hobbyist and never flown a drone, and they were willing to throw some insurance at me. So I thought, crikey, that's not a bad thing, is it? Yeah, indeed. Okay, now I believe, and I hope we get this correct, but I think it's actually Travels with Rosie that got the exact speed that we have, which is 87 miles per hour for the DJI FPV drone. So well done on that one, sir. Really appreciate it. So yes, and where do you think, with all of your wealth of experience, and for anybody that's watching that hasn't seen Andrew before, Andrew is the former CAA drone lead, and you were you set up one of the first or the first police drone units.
The first.
The first.
I have to claim, yeah.
Excellent. So it's fair to say you've been around for a while.
Yeah.
Now, I've got grey in my beard too, so I'm not.
Yeah, no, I've got grey hair.
I'm not
a lot on here, but
yeah. Well, I haven't got much there anymore actually, which is a shame. It's always that thing when you go for a haircut and it's sort of it's you see more and more of this and less of this stuff. So, but then I also don't want to go down too far because I've got a very large ball patch coming through. But there we go. But in your experience, what do you think is going to be the next leap in terms of commercial operations in the UK specifically? Do you think we're going to, because we have now got the first trials for beyond visual line of sight that have been approved? Where do you see this sort of the next explosion happening?
I think deliveries is going to be a very big one. Yeah.
Yes.
I think definitely deliveries. I think the pandemic, as awful as it's been, but has really highlighted how drones can help and support, especially the NHS. And when I was at the CA and we had our first, when the pandemic happened, we had a number of inquiries about deliveries, and it was a bit sceptical about dangerous goods and lots of sort of the issues surrounding deliveries. But we work around them, and we work with some of the companies that we know are out there at the minute doing it. And now, sort of 12 months on, the deliveries is just fantastic.
Yeah, it's superb, isn't it?
Everything going down there is just superb. And here is delivery for us already.
Yes, we've just had a delivery not by drone.
Yeah.
And Andrew McQuillan, who's being very
by
camera
himself.
shy today,
But
dropping drinks off for me, which is very, very kind of him. Thank you for that. Although he did just put them in shot, so I think, you know, as a director, I think he just failed, frankly.
or is that one of our new sponsors?
Yes. Yeah, no, I don't think so. unless it's the new Drone Masterclass code.
Perhaps he's had a call.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, actually, yes, we've just finding out we've lost 3 sponsors in the last 10 minutes.
But yeah, deliveries, I think, is definitely a big thing. And I think we're going to see more and more of that. It's going to become sort of business as usual for some delivery companies. They'll be looking at drones rather than using the roads, etc.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think, because obviously when people think drone delivery, often, you know, and myself included, you know, you imagine the pop socks or the pizza or the burger being dropped off, which of course was tested down in Canberra when they were having the like a Costa Coffee type delivery thing, which could get to you within I think it was about 3 minutes that could happen, which was pretty incredible. But I think we're more looking at the type of deliveries which is going to be from base to base, like you're saying, because and things that I think could be quite innovative are things like hospital to hospital delivery. So organs going from hospital to hospital. You know, that's incredible. There was a test in Las Vegas, which has actually been successfully completed twice now, of an organ being transplanted across the city, which of course by car would take a long time. Helicopter is possible, but it's very expensive and has other issues. But if you can get that automated under drone delivery, then and reliable, then it's something that could literally save lives, which obviously is a wonderful hashtag drones for good type of thing. One thing I always wonder, and obviously consumer drones isn't necessarily, well, I know you fly Mavics etc. as well, and you're a fan of the Mini too. What do you think the next what us hobbyists call prosumer drone? So the next replacement to the Mavic 2 Pro, that type of thing. As someone that is on both sides of the fence, but more predominantly on the professional side, what would you like to see in the next drone?
Yeah, no, cool, blimey.
Grab a drink. I'll just throw that one at you.
Yeah, no, I don't know really. A bit more advanced capabilities with the drone itself, or more autonomous stuff. I think when we're allowed to have more autonomous flights. I know they talk about in the CA about autonomy and autonomous, and they don't like things to help that human input. But we've seen now with the BVLOS flights, you know, there's a human standing there, but I just think more capabilities of the drone. I think probably better battery definitely on some of the smaller drones. You know, 30 minutes now is an average, but you know, but we should be knocking up into the hour now at least.
It would be good to see, wouldn't it? Especially as we do see now with the Mavics to be at that small form factor. And I don't know. I feel like a battery leap forward is due. We haven't had one for a while.
No.
And you occasionally see the reports of, you know, the Tesla battery that can be charged in 5 minutes and that type of thing. And I suppose that's going to help the drone industry from the point of view that electric power and batteries is now vital to so many other industries that actually we should start seeing the benefit of that ourselves as well, shouldn't we? Really? So
bit of solar charging while it's up there, you know.
That would be cool.
But I started on the Phantom 1, and like 7 minutes of flight time.
Yes.
And I remember I was doing a wedding, the first wedding I did, and so they're going to come out now. They're going to say you put the drone up, and you've got 3 minutes left, and of course they don't come out for another 5 to 10 minutes. So by the time you change about 3 batteries, you've totally missed it anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So to go from 7 minutes up to 30 with 30 minutes now is good. But I think we've been stuck at 30 minutes for some of these drones now for quite a while.
Yeah, no, indeed. No, it would be good, and we do get the occasional promise of a longer flight time. But you look at things like the DJI FPV drone, which actually I have one here, and there's someone in the studio that's going to be very worried the fact that I picked this up and I'm moving it around.
Be careful, so you might turn it on.
Yes, good point. Yeah, but yes, so I promise not to drop it. But yes, but obviously this has a documented flight time of 20 minutes. Which again, with these type of drones, with the high power and the different flight modes, it's very unlikely you're ever going to reach that. But they do seem to be quite reliable with things like the Mini, etc. You do seem to get the flight time promised out of those. But yeah, so we certainly need to start seeing that happening. One other conversation which is always one that I like to try and have with people is as far as the hobby side of it. So literally just the the people coming at this for a hobby, whether they're building things, whether they're flying the set sort of consumer manufacturer made drones, is actually how do we keep the hobby side of things as free as possible, whilst integrating everything into the commercial side of things. And as much as a lot of us don't like things like the UTM that's coming, Unified Traffic Management, Remote ID, and all the other things that are happening, we are kind of on a train journey where we're going to go to those situations now. So those things are in our future and they are going to happen. Yeah. What do you think could happen in terms of trying to ensure the hobby stays as free as possible and doesn't get over-regulated?
I think we just got to make sure they're responsible, they know the rules, they stick to the rules. As soon as the hobbyists start going outside of the rules, they get the bad name, then they say, right, we need to regulate them. You know, we've touch wood, we're an industry which hasn't had those really big incidents. Yeah, okay. They haven't had these big incidents, these big crashes, fatalities and things like that, where other sports potentially have. So, it must mean we're doing something right. There's people out there are responsible, as much as, we've had that drone sighting in Gloucester, near miss that was reported the other day. It's so bad reporting. We need to get that better name as well for drones. And
exactly.
I think the hobbyists are doing well. I think they're not causing the problems maybe people thought they were. Yeah,
and I know in the Mini 2 with OcuSync 2.0 and a 31-minute flight time, etc. When that came out, there was a lot of concern from the point of view that we've got to have people literally be able to buy this from Amazon and just sit down in their garden and fly it to the airport and back, or something like that. So
you can't do that
now. No, you should be doing that. Okay. No one mentioned Gatwick. And that again, we've had lockdown, so of course a lot of people weren't able to fly. But as you say, we haven't necessarily had that major issue. I'm not asking for anybody out there to go and make that major issue happen, please. But so you see one way of helping to keep the hobby free is by self-regulation, essentially, by all of us staying responsible.
Yeah, and I think also we could do a lot more work with the local authorities and councils and make places for these people to fly. Welcome them, say, look, come and fly over here in this field. We think it's safe. We've done the checks on the ownership and people next door. We just want you to have that third-party insurance. We want you to fly responsibly. These are the boundaries, and then that should be done. Things like Dartmoor, everyone goes down to Dartmoor to fly. There's a bylaw you can't. But we should be saying to Dartmoor, well, you've got so much land, put us in a place in a corner where we can enjoy our sport and our hobby, don't get a bad name, encourage more people to come down, and then I think that will work.
Indeed. And I think land is actually an interesting one because it seems to be, and takeoff position seems to be, in the UK in particular, it is becoming one of the hot topics because, of course, now we have the Mini 2 that all that you need to be able, even to be able to fly in congested areas is to ensure that it has an operator ID. You don't need the flyer ID at the moment, which still blows me away slightly, and read the user manual. So there's a very low benchmark to actually get into that. So of course lots more people are flying now, and therefore because they're in congested areas, that type of thing. When you're out and about and you're in the middle of a field, there isn't so much of an issue about who owns this spot of land because actually unless you're interfering with something, no one's really bothered that you're stood on their land. But of course, as we're flying in congested areas now, that question's becoming more and more of a hot topic. So yes, I think it would be good to see the local authorities not step up because of course they have to protect their interests and the wider community and everything else like that. They have to be seen to doing that as well, not just saying fly your drones wherever you want. It's not a problem. But it is becoming more and more of a hot topic, and I think it would be good to start seeing some more technology-led side of things as well, that where we can actually start to find out who owns this land and can I fly here and that type of thing. I think but as you say, that probably starts with the local authorities, doesn't it?
Yeah,
really?
So, definitely.
Because of course they do control so much of the land that we're all flying from. Yeah. Interesting one. Now I have a viewer's story which is interesting, and you have to excuse me for looking down. Prior to the show, we actually put out a call for people to let us know how drones have impacted their life, what they love about the hobby, that type of thing. And we're going to be sharing a few of those stories through the day. And I've got one here, which came in from Stuart Hart at Buzzing Drones. It's quite an interesting one actually because it's quite apt for the area that the arena that we're in. He said, I've just spotted your post on International Drone Day. I wanted to tell you my little story. I've been flying drones for around 2 years. Started with a DJI Spark and immediately fell in love with the hobby. He's since upgraded to the DJI Air 2 and a Mini 2, which I think is a really good combo, actually. And his flying has improved, and as did his passion for the hobby. He worked within civil aviation, but he's been on furlough, which of course so many people out there completely understand. Leave due to the downturn of work within that industry with the pandemic, and general aviation really was hit, wasn't it? I mean, it was already having problems when the pandemic came along, but that really was just an absolute sucker punch. To add to this, he was made redundant from his position at Christmas. He did secure another position within the same company, but on less hours and still on furlough. So he's still that sort of situation of he's not quite sure what's going to happen. With the free time on furlough last October, he nagged his wife to cut him some vinyl skins of his drone. That's obviously one of her skills, using her cutting machine she uses for a small homemade craft business. And he was really impressed with the results, and that's actually now grown. So now they actually supply skins and wraps, and it's actually become like a little sort of cottage business in their spare room. So for him, drones has become a hobby and is now actually becoming something which is backing up an income for him.
That's brilliant.
Which is
positive news.
It's sort of it's turning that
industry.
Indeed, really exactly. Good. So you can find them at buzzin_drones on things like Facebook, etc., which is really exciting. Just head over to the chat very quickly. Again, thank you all very much for being here. I really do appreciate it. Tech Teen, great to see you, sir. Tech Teen actually has regular live streams on the general aviation side. Actually, I enjoy watching his channel. He's a young lad. He's about, remind me, Ruben, I think you're about 16 years of age, but he does regular live streams on Microsoft Flight Simulator. Okay. And he's one of these streamers that gets everything correct. Yeah, so does the air traffic and everything, and pushes back correctly and everything else like that. And it's like it's fantastic. Personally, when I go on flight sim, I'm just take off straight away. Yeah, exactly. Permission? Who needs permission? That's the only time you ever hear me say that on the drone channel. But
don't forget you got your assessment this afternoon about permissions. Okay. Sorry, carry on.
You're reminding me of my flight assessment, my live flight assessment. Oh, okay. But very quickly, thank you very much, El Smeghead, for your £10 super sticker. Really appreciate it. There's a little man jumping up and down saying #1 fan, which is awesome. And Chuck, Kovacs and Dronography, good to see you, sir. $5 super chat. Geeksvana, some post-testing celebratory gin money. Thank you. Yes, people seem to be focusing on that. I wonder why. I can't think why. Now, I'm actually going to put a link in the chat very quickly, and this is a link to the 2 o'clock show, so you can all go across and start to set your reminders for that one. But I think that's probably enough chat from us for a moment, and I think we should should we give something away?
Yeah, go for it, it's time.
Should we give an A2 CofC away?
Go for it.
So this is your opportunity for anyone. Now, can somebody who is not in the UK sit this exam?
Yeah. So an online exam, there's theory only.
Excellent. So
it's going to be based on the UK regulations, obviously.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I'm not sure how sort of downtown Miami, if you're stopped by police for flying your drone, I'm not sure how much they're going to how seriously they'll take your A2 CofC. I mean, I'm sure they'll be pleased that you've taken some online learning, but the fact that it's a completely different set of regulations might be a problem. But yes, so this is open to the world. So this is the UK certificate, and it's obviously going to be more a benefit perhaps to people using it in the UK airspace. In honour of our first guest, who would potentially have still been here, Simon Ritterband of Moonrock Insurance, the first person in the chat that can give me the EU standard requirements for commercial drone insurance will win this A2 CofC. So we're going to keep these giveaways really simple. There's not going to be, you have to subscribe to this channel, tweet this, and stand on one leg whilst waving and take a selfie. We're going to keep them very, very simple, and something like this, which is an absolutely fantastic giveaway. So it's an A2 CofC course. So what I need to see is the EU regulation, and it will start EC, and then it's some numbers. So the first person to put the numbers correctly in the chat will win that A2 CofC course, which is an exciting one.
So just to remind, sorry, Sean,
yes.
Just to remind your listeners that to do the A2 CofC, as obviously they can do the theory online, no problem.
Yes.
But before they take the exam, they have to give evidence of they have had some flights of
a flight log,
which would probably have to be in the UK. So
yes.
that's there's two building blocks basically: the flyer
yes.
ID and the fact that they
But
have
if
to
someone
have-
in the US wins, you can still go in and do the course,
They
but
can still come
you won't.
over.
You won't. Yeah. You can always.
Come
So,
over.
will Drone Masterclass fly them across from the States? No.
no.
Yeah, I'm not sure. The fact that if anybody else has watched any of our previous live streams where Andrew Hamilton was very kindly a guest, you will note that he was staying in some pretty dodgy hotels with some pretty bad Wi-Fi. So I'm not sure that the budget department, i.e. Andrew McQuillan, will spring for that one. But there we go. I think I'm about to have my camera go a little bit fuzzy now. Okay, so we have some answers in here. Let me have a look. And the first person that's actually put it completely correctly, I believe, is Metal Matt 2510, which is, of course, what is the EU regulation for insurance?
Off the top of my head, I
No,
can't remember.
okay. EC 785 2004. See, I just did that really unfairly and said, it is, of course, and then I read it from the screen. So I'm afraid I was being a little bit evil there. So, so yes, I think that was, actually, no, hang on 1 second. Recount.
Someone else got it, have they?
Yeah, we will do a double check on that and confirm that back. And it's Rosie again, actually. Travels with Rosie. That's your second prize today. Yes. So EC 785 2004. Congratulations on that. And I think actually I know Rosie Travels with Rosie. They fly. We have one of their videos on our Reactor one last week, which was a lighthouse ship which has been converted into a hotel.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so I think in actual fact they'll put that to very, very good use,
Lovely.
which is very exciting.
Yeah.
So shall we talk about the elephant in the room? And I'm not talking about me before anybody puts it in the live chat. We have the live flight assessment coming up at 2 o'clock, which will be us two stood in the field with me attempting to fly a drone. I am genuinely really looking forward to it.
Good.
I think in actual fact, because it will be away, or it's going to be live streamed, etc. So you're going to see different camera angles and that type of thing. But I'll be again away from the production side of things, so that it's safe and that I can concentrate on the flights and everything. So I'm looking forward to that, because one of the things I do love doing is flying drones. I've been practicing a lot with the Inspire in the last week and a half. But it's something I'm really looking forward to. Do you have any tips for others that are preparing for their GVC flight assessment that might be concerned about, because that was certainly for me.
Yeah.
I've done my A2 CofC, I did my flight logs, everything else like that. But for me, this obviously feels a lot more serious. This obviously feels a lot more in depth, as the course is, of course. And the flight assessment, I do have some butterflies. What would you say to someone that's considering taking the course and has those same butterflies, that the flight assessment side of it might be holding them back?
I'd say just follow what you've been taught. Follow everything that you've been taught by your RAE. Go through your manuals. Obviously, you've got an operations manual. You've probably had a template that has assisted you. You've done your checklists. So just go through everything in the order that it's been given to you by your RAE, and you'll be fine. And don't forget, everything in there is in CAP 722. Therefore, CAP 722B rather. So look at CAP 722B, and you'll see at the back of that what the practical flight assessment involves.
Excellent.
So there's no secrets. They're not going to throw anything on you. Your RAE should guide you through everything and explain to you. You've got your operations manual. You've done the flying. You've got the experience. Yes, it's an exam at the end of the day. It's a test. We all know that.
Yes.
Yes,
exactly, and there has to be a level of competency, of course. But I did find that just putting the man hours in was the biggest advantage for me, frankly, which really did help me. And I found that although the Inspire one is a big drone when it's in the sky, in ATI mode, I actually found the controls to be really precise. So once you got used to that sort of obviously being buffeted around by a bit of wind and the fact that it's not going to be on a GPS hold, it isn't like ATI mode with the FPV drone, of course, where I've got to keep it up there as well, which is one advantage. I'm not sure I want to start doing flips with an Inspire one anytime soon, but no, I'm looking forward to it. And one of the things I did like about, and this is a plug for Drone Masterclass, one of the things I did like about the GVC course in particular is the fact that you're able to have one-to-one video sessions with an instructor and talk about things. And that's not specifically saying, book your one-to-one course for the exam or for this, but it is actually just to chat about things and to run through things and ask questions, etc. Which I think that bridges the gap between the the distance learning side of things, and perhaps missing the sort of classroom activity side of things as well, because they're able to get those questions across.
Yeah, I think distance learning is always a challenge, and I think because it's new for everybody, sitting in a room in a house, rather than having that interaction with an instructor and other students as well, and learning from other students' experiences, I think it is key. So I think for us at Drone Masterclass, what we want to do is make sure we can appeal to every learner. We all learn differently. Some people like to be read to, some people like to feel things and pick things up and have demonstrations, and other people can just sit and watch me standing there and doing all this on the screen, and other people hate it. So you've got to appeal to everybody. You've got to give different things, like the manual that we do, the student's manual, having a one-to-one, and if they get stuck in that student's manual, they can either email me or we can have a Zoom call, and it's all it's all part of the package. So we just want to support them, because at the end of the day, we want to get them to the final bit.
Yeah, exactly.
But only you can do that.
No
pressure, mate, but only you're going to be able to do that this afternoon, not me. But we will put you at ease. I'll put you at ease. You've done your preparation.
I feel prepared. As I was saying at the beginning of the show, I do feel prepared. And actually, one of the things that I have enjoyed about the Drone Masterclass GVC is that written manual. And the videos were absolutely fantastic, and I enjoy learning by video, because you can watch them time and time again and really get those key points down. But the manual is obviously even more in depth, and it's something, of course, that you're able to take everywhere with you. So I just had it on my laptop and on my tablet, and whenever I had sort of 10-15 minutes, I'd have a little read through and just have a think about things. So it was absolutely fantastic.
Oh, good.
Right, it's that time again. Should we give something else away?
Yeah, I think we should.
Now, this one, there is only one hoop that you have to jump through for this one. And this is actually a prize from LensPen, who we've run a couple of videos previously for them, and they're the small little pens with the carbon tips that you're able to clean things, etc. And they've got a few specialist versions. And this particular one is for FPV goggles. It's called their VR kit, but it's basically to be able to clean the lenses and FPV goggles, etc. It's on sale at the moment at about £55 actually, so it's a decent pack. There's a few pens and a couple of brushes to be able to do that. What I'd like you to do is to anyone that has Twitter and Instagram, tweet out with the hashtags #Geeksvana and #International Drone Day, and then at the 2 o'clock show we're going to pick a winner, which would be quite cool, won't it?
Good, yeah.
In fact, Andrew's going to pick a winner at random. Basically, he's going to close his eyes like that to all the people that have tweeted and insted. We'll have them on the screen in front of him, and he'll press one to choose somebody on the random side of things there. So that's pretty much it for this our first Welcome to International Drone Day broadcast. It's been a fantastic experience for me being in front of what are to me some very expensive cameras, frankly. And I do want to give a big shout out to the crew behind the scenes. You know who you are. Who have been very, very professional, very serious today, and helped me prepare for this show, which is absolutely fantastic. I even have one of those little things in my ear. Yeah. Look at this.
They're not on.
They're not actually doing anything at all right now, to be fair, and it's kind of a little bit itchy. But anyway, it's a lot of fun. So yes. So as I said, I'll put the link to the 2 o'clock one in the chat now. I'm going to send that link live as well, so other people can see it and build up to the 2 o'clock. I'm going to go and hide in a very dark corner and start to meditate and prepare for my CAA GVC course live flight assessment at 2 o'clock. So come back then if you want to see what will certainly be fun, for sure. Thanks everyone. We'll see you at 2 o'clock.